Right, finally got my package from Armaton. So, let's have a look. Ah, that's nice. I like how they individually wrap the parts. What we got? Bill of materials type thing. Oh, a lolly. Yeah, cool. And there are the standoffs and whatnot. Right, I'm sure one of the things people want to know is what is the weight of each part. So the middle plate, 3.2 grams, and the arms are 4.8 grams each. I can confirm that the Hello Kitty lolly is delicious. So the tolerances on these armholes are, well, a little bit more than I was hoping for, to be honest. But that's okay. So here's what I recommend people do. If you put the frame together and just sit it like this, then grab some super glue and just put it on the top here, 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 here. That way, when you tighten this top plate down, that'll be all stiff and the arms won't be able to move at all. I mean, they're not going to move anyway once you've tightened them all down. Once you've tightened, you know, the nuts and the standoffs down, they're not going to move anyway. But it's just if you have a crash, they might wiggle around a bit, I guess, and get loose. So yeah, I would go with the super glue option. Now, the other thing you're going to want to do here is use some Loctite and just put some Loctite on these 4 outer bolts just for the standoffs, because you want that to be nice and tight and you don't want it to fall apart while you're flying. So, or if you're going to be using these inner standoffs, because these are actually 20mm spacing on the inside and 30.5mm spacing on the outside. So with that 20mm, you can actually mount a one of the new kind of generation smaller flight controller ESC stacks. If you can find an ESC powerful enough, that's another option. Alright, so the frame is finished. As you can see, 33.7 grams, including these standoffs. So that is a pretty nice lightweight. Something to make note of, 2 of the nuts that Armaton gave me actually stripped out on me. I guess they're probably aluminium nuts, but I just used these other ones that I happen to have, so that was alright. But yeah, hopefully it's just a one-off kind of thing with some dodgy nuts or whatever, but because I wasn't even twisting them that hard, to be honest. You know, I want it to be torqued down pretty hard, but I feel like they stripped way too easy. But anyway, something to kind of take note of. And here we have the finished frame. So here we've got a 4-in-1 ESC. It's a Racer Star 20 amp, version 1. So it doesn't do like D-Shot 600, but that's fine. It's good enough for what I need. Then we've got a Betaflight F3, which that's the first time I've used one of those, and it's awesome. I've always loved the Minim OSDs. I've used a Minim OSD on all of my builds since like forever, and this is just like a Minim OSD except way better. So yeah, and it's got the built-in current sensing. Yeah, it's just awesome. There's a D4R2 sitting there for the receiver. Got a standard HS1177 with a GoPro lens. The VTX on the back, just a little tiny one, which is nice. For the motors, I've got the Brother Hobby T1 1407 3600 kV. And you will notice that I've got 4-inch props on there. So originally I was flying these HQ, come on camera, focus, HQ dual blade. They're 50-45 dual blades there. So yeah, that was what I first tested this quad with, and I was using 3-cell. I was using 3-cell 1300, and it felt pretty good. It was just a little bit slow, I guess. You know, it's a lower RPM than this. I'm definitely glad I tried it, because it's kind of unique, and it kind of actually reminded me of actually my first quad that I built, which I'll put a picture up now. So this quad here is actually how I got into the hobby, and the motors that I used say on them 28-22. So I thought, oh yeah, that sounds like a pretty decent size, and I put 12-inch props on it. And I found out a long time later that 28-22, that's how Hobby King measure them, is like the can diameter, like the outside diameter. It's not actually the stator diameter, you know, the stator measurements. So the actual stator is a 2208, and they were 1450 kV. So I guess flying these 1407 motors on 5-inch props really reminded me of when I used to fly this quad. I don't know, it's kind of lower RPM, and because it's so lightweight, I guess, I don't know. It's really hard to describe, to be honest, but I just feel like it had a similar feeling. So yeah, I'm actually really liking the 4-inch 45 props on this quad, well, on these motors, I should say. Um, Brother Hobby are releasing some slightly bigger motors, which might be awesome. Not sure for 5-inch. But yeah, you can tell that these are just kind of bogging the motors down too much, even on 3-cell. I don't know. Seems like 4-inch seems to be a really good prop for these motors. This is my new favorite quad. I like this more than my 3-inch quad. I've also got it tuned really well. It didn't need much tuning, and I don't know, the symmetrical X might make it kind of better, and maybe the lower center of gravity with the battery, because that's not something I usually do. But yeah, just overall very, very happy with this quad, and I'm gonna actually race it and see how it goes.